Look at that beautiful boy. Hi, Frankie. He's so pretty. He's so pretty. I don't know. We've got so much going on in this house trying to get things settled in. So one of the, oopsie. I'm going to start off by doing a reading. It's a couple paragraphs, but they're short paragraphs. And it's from this lovely book by Jean Weston. Now remember what I said about switching up words that fit your predicament. Don't get mad at the author or the book because it's talking about overeating or alcoholism or drug addiction, when really we can be addicted to people, places, and things. Look at my collar. One of my sweatshirts that I haven't had a chance to cut the collar on yet. Oh, something shiny. Okay, so that's, it's like contempt prior to investigation, because the ideas behind some of these, or the concept behind some of these ideas, is what really matters, and how you can use the template basically for your own needs, so you can own it instead of feel punished by it or judged by it or condemn it. Okay, so on page 57 it says, the key to self-esteem is to bring your feelings about yourself into line with the lifestyle you want. The closer you get to your ideal self, the higher your self-esteem rises. In other words, the more you live your life as you feel you should, the more you like yourself. Why not try acting as if you are the person you want to be? Eat like the person who cares about weight and nutrition. Act like the person who lives an optimistic and winning life. Gradually, as you move in a more positive direction, your self-esteem will rise, and this heightened self-esteem will pave the way to inner peace. The way to inner peace has been defined as right thought, right feeling, right action. These are the requisites for harmony, which is the absence of conflict. To have peace of mind, we must seek a beautiful relationship with our inner selves. All distortions, restlessness, and incoherence must be replaced by the positive, creative mind. No one else can give us the sense of unity and cohesion that stills conflict. We must give it to ourselves each day by creating a constructive environment in which to live. Okay, so fake it till you make it, basically. Pretend to be, for me, that Nike had a slogan out in the late 80s or early 90s. It said, fake it till you make it, just do it. The swish, the check mark, check, just do it. And that, excuse me, sorry, that's where I got the concept that I had to pretend to retrain my brain. Why not try acting as if you're the person you want to be, right? So I grew up in an environment like many of my clients have, where each and every single day was a reinforcement that you don't matter. In the scheme of things, You're a blip. You just happen to be there, an innocent bystander, truly. And something to be put up with and to manage and control. So, the self-esteem is so low. Self-value is so low that there's no conversation. There's no debate. It's just a knowing. This is what's true. And then what you do is, on top of it, the verbal or physical abuse that comes with somebody else's temper tantrum. So some of my clients truly believe when they get triggered, they have to fight for their life. Because that's what the human brain does when it's being attacked and eaten away at. Think of a bird that, excuse me, or a rodent that's on the road and skins its knee while it's scampering, chasing bugs. Well, a bird senses that and comes down to attack the rodent. Well, what the rodent feels, even though it's healthy enough to get away from the bird, because the bird's so big and scary, the rodent runs, fights, struggles for its life before it would play dead. All kinds of tricks to try to save its own life. Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Frankie, come. Frankie, come. Frankie. Good boy. Come on. Come on. Good boy. Okay, jump. I finally was able to get someone to work under the house today. And I don't want Frankie bothering him because that crawl space is terrifying to me. So anyway, that's kind of how the brain works. Fight, flight, freeze, or fawn is something they came up with as well, which makes sense. Okay, so when you take a brain that has been basically designed over time, every day, all day long, first thing in the morning, last thing before sleep, designed to believe that it needs to fight for its life emotionally or physically to be ready. You have people who have these hot spots, right? Trigger emotions, whether it's crying or yelling or screaming, raging, physically fighting. So for somebody to come into counseling to try to heal those wounds, that's a big deal. A very big deal. Frankie, it's okay. Come here. Frankie, come. Good boy. Yeah, there's noises under the house and Frankie's wants to go explore. Come here. Come here. Good boy. Oh, I'm just can't tell you how every minute that passes, I'm hoping he doesn't give up on that crawl space job. Just because I would get under there and within 5 minutes I'd be like, I can't handle it. I can't handle it. I don't know. I'd never heard of crawl spaces before I moved to Tennessee. I thought everybody either had a basement or they didn't have a basement. I didn't know what a crawl space was. I didn't grow up with them. Oh, I'm so anxious about it that I have to pretend everything's going to be okay until I get more information. That's how I have to sometimes deal with new situations is a let's pretend everything's going to be okay. And I have to tell myself that. I have to give my brain the words to, come here, Frankie. Oh, good boy. Mama loves a good boy. The brain doesn't know what the brain doesn't know. Or it does sometimes have an instinct. But when that instinct has been trained out of you, or it's been in constant conflict with what the information that's coming in has, then there's this tug of war where we're burning calories trying to figure out what's what. It can be exhausting. So anyone in therapy working on your stuff, I'm in awe. I'm always in awe when a new person with these deep wounds comes into therapy. I just really admire anyone who's willing to do the work. It's pretty impressive. So, imagine going through life like that, and then being told there could be a better way or different way to live your life. Sometimes it's kind of hard to believe. When you see people living a life that you wish you could have, and then all of a sudden someone says, well, here's an instruction book, like a mechanic. Here are the things you have to do to change your neural pathways. But instead of being like a mechanic, you do it once and it's fixed. You have to convince, now that you're doing the right things, you have to do those right things long enough to convince the machinery to behave in a certain way. You can't just fix the machinery to behave in a certain way. That would make sense, right? But the brain is more like ruts in a highway, or ruts in a gravel country road, where you have to, if you don't have an excavator come in to change the road, and it's up to you to drive on the road in a way that's going to calm down those ruts. You have to just drive a little bit to the left for a while and a little bit to the right for a while. And pretty soon the ruts will kind of smooth out. That's how it works, basically, with the neural pathways. You can't just go in with a bulldozer and change it. They've tried that with lobotomies. It doesn't work so great most of the time. Most of the time, it does not work so great. I don't care what they say. I heard they were trying to bring it back. It's like, oh, people. Because they're so desperate with some people who aren't responding. And it'll give them something to do with the people in those medical prisons, mental health prisons, whatever. Anyway, I don't know their politics. So, yeah, and that's what it is to me, is politics. Okay, so some people will spend the rest of their life working on their neural pathways, but getting better and better over time. I just heard a thud. I don't know if that's a repair or him slamming the door because he got out of there and he's done. You don't know what you don't know till you know. He'll let us know before he leaves the property if he's going to do it or not. Okay, so I want to explain that when people have these emotional injuries, some people also have physical injuries. And you can develop PTSD from both of those things. You can develop PTSD from physical pain when you're dealing with this pain, this disappointment, this broken dreams every day because of the pain. There are certain things that, and I think it's one of the big deal for men, is that when they can't physically feel manly, every day it eats away at them. So there are some people who are so against living the life that it looks like they're destined for now, and it looks so bleak, that they will commit suicide, or they'll turn to alcoholism or overeating, which I did for a long time, drinking and eating. I have never had my eyes tear up like I have in the last couple months. My eyes have been so dry that I have 2 plugs in each eye. I was born with 2 tear ducts in each eye instead of just one. So the eye doctors have plugged them. But in the last couple months, I've been actually tearing up at night. I mean, a lot of times my eyes will be dry, but sometimes they'll just, I guess it's allergies. I've heard of itchy, watery eyes. Usually I just get itchy, not watery. But anyway, back to me. So here's something ironic, is some of us start getting better over time. Most humans only